In another video, we talked about how Creative Force integrates post-production into the larger production process and gives you some valuable tools and automations to help you put the finishing touches on your images and stay on top of overall production. Now we're going to focus specifically on how Creative Force integrates with external post-production vendors, giving you the flexibility that you need to work the way that you want to and use the resources that you love. My name is Daniel Jester, and this is Working with External Vendors for Post-Production. Integrating external vendors into your Creative Force workflow is pretty simple. It starts by setting up your preferred vendor in the system. If your favorite post-production vendor can accept images via FTP, then they can be set up to receive images from Creative Force. Some of the larger vendors, like Pixels, can accept an API integration. You can set up multiple vendors in the system, and setting up multiple vendors allows you to make sure that you're using the right team for the job. If you have one vendor and you prefer their skin retouching for your on-model work, but another vendor you like their tabletop work better, you can set those vendors up in their respective workflows and assign those workflows to that production type. Let's talk really quickly about the workflows. In Creative Force, there are currently 4 post-production workflows that integrate external vendors. Outsourcing means that 100% of your images are retouched by an external vendor. The images are reviewed and either approved, sending them off for final delivery, or rejected and sent back to the vendor. Outsourcing with exception handling allows you to either approve images straight from the external vendor or redirect the images to an internal team to polish them up a bit. The hybrid workflow is set up so that every image goes to an external vendor and then to the internal team. This is a common workflow where the base retouching is done by the external vendor and the internal team handles the subjective detail work. Lastly, overflow, a workflow that allows you to route images to an external vendor if your internal teams are at capacity. You can select unique workflows for different product types, processes, or even clients, and select unique vendors for each workflow, giving you maximum flexibility to make sure that you can use the right resources for the job. Additionally, Creative Force gives you the ability to set up backup vendors within a given workflow. So if you have a policy of using more than one outsource vendor, or you just want to be able to load balance during busy times, you can redirect any set of assets to a different vendor at any time. Another feature that I think is really thoughtful in the way that Creative Force handles it is quality control in post-production. Every workflow has a QC step, but you can customize those QC steps and even turn them on or off. If you want to give key stakeholders the ability to review and approve images, you can do that, but you can also empower your internal retouch teams to uphold the quality standards of your studio. The bottom line is that Creative Force understands that when it comes to post-production with external vendors, you need options. So they built a platform that gives you all of the options you need while maintaining visibility and organization of your assets. To learn more about how Creative Force handles post-production, check out our other video on Creative Force's powerful Photoshop plugin, the Hue app. This is what powers your ability to work with internal retouching teams as well as off-site freelancers.